I'm feeling really great about my goals, and I can't wait to share with you how this past month has gone, as well as the things I'm looking forward to in the next month. Hey, my name is Sophie from Sophisticated Organization, and we're going to be talking about my goals for the month of September, as well as what has happened over August, how I did with my goals for the month, and all of that type of stuff. So let's jump right into it, talking about how the month of August went. And it was kind of a fun month. I really enjoyed this past month. I did travel once. I had a work trip to Charleston, which was so much fun. It was a work trip in the sense of it was with my coworkers and paid for by work and all of that stuff, but it wasn't necessarily a working trip, so we really didn't work for the 3 days that we were there. I left early Monday morning and came back Wednesday afternoon. So my legal team that I work with in my company, they like to do 2 different meetings throughout the year. They like to do one that's kind of like a fun one in a fun location, and another one that's focused more on work, where we're going to be doing some working sessions and things like that in New York, where my company is based. So this was the fun one, which I was very excited to participate in, and got to meet a lot of my coworkers that I've never met before. It was a tour of eating and exploring Charleston, which was really enjoyable. So the first night we were there, we had an outstanding dinner where we got this really nice tasting menu. I was so stuffed with food after that. The next day we had a breakfast planned, and they turned it into a surprise baby shower for me, which was so sweet. They had balloons and a little sash and a crown for me to wear, and they're gonna send some diapers to my house, which is really sweet, and we played some games. And there was another surprise a little bit later related, but after that we did some yoga. We did have a quick session talking about work-life balance. Then we immediately went to have barbecue for lunch, which was delicious, though I'm not sure I was even hungry after the huge breakfast. And right after the barbecue, the whole team went to do a high ropes course where you have a harness on, and they were doing team bonding type stuff, but being pregnant, I cannot be in a harness and up high on a ropes course. So they booked me a spa day, like a spa afternoon. I've never had that experience before. I've gotten a massage before, or a facial, or a pedicure, but I've never had a bunch of spa services done back to back to back. So I was there for over 3 hours and had like a foot scrub and a facial and a massage. They gave me fruit and tea in between, and it was the most relaxing experience ever. I get really bad back pain in pregnancy, so I really appreciated the massage and just the time to be away from my phone, disconnect, and just kind of be there with my thoughts for a little bit. It was really interesting how reflective I got, because I don't think we get that many opportunities to be away from our phones, and that will tie in a little bit later when we talk about next month, because I did enjoy disconnecting so much. The rest of the trip, we did a really nice dinner that evening, and then basically after that I had breakfast the next morning and flew back home. So it was a quick trip, but really enjoyable, and reinvigorated me, I think, with my job a little bit. Just made me really appreciate my job and the coworkers that I have. Got to bond with them on a new level, which was nice. The rest of the month, like I said, I was here in Omaha at home. A couple of things I think have changed a little bit. I started with my chiropractor that I saw with my last pregnancy. I even just started last week. I went to physical therapy. I've never done that before, so that was interesting, just because of all the back pain and things like that going on with pregnancy. So that might kind of take up my time a little bit more, going to those things a few times a week. Plus, the further along you get in pregnancy, the more doctor's appointments you have. I've always had this goal of getting out of the house more. This is forcing me to get out of the house, though it's not a fun activity going to the doctors necessarily, although sometimes going to the chiropractor feels good and does help my back. But because I'm out and about, I've been trying to book first morning appointments or the last appointment of the day, which means that I can take Owen to daycare or pick him up. And I usually like to tack that along with doing something else with him, like running some errand or going to do something. So that's something I've enjoyed a little bit this past month that I wasn't planning on doing, but we'll probably do more in the month of September as I continue to go out and about for these appointments, probably pick up Owen and do something else fun with it. I'm also feeling reinvigorated with sophisticated organization and YouTube and Instagram content, especially as we roll into the fall and winter seasons. I love fall. I love all of the different holidays and really like incorporating those things into my life. I like decorating for the fall in my house. I like cooking fall foods. I like making special holiday moments for Owen, so I'm excited to pick out a Halloween costume for him. I know we're talking about September here, and I'm thinking about October, but just in general, looking forward to the next few months through the end of the year. I mentioned in my last video having a due date near the end of the year in the winter. I have this kind of timeline in my head, and I've really been working on planning out what I want to get done through the end of the year, whether it's home related or personal or things specifically to do before baby or things in my business like sophisticated organization and sophisticated motherhood. I have my planner here. I have been like planning out all of these ideas that I have, and I'm really excited about things. I did film a fall decorate with me video and have some fall decor already out in the house. That will be out next week, and I'm just so excited to share all the things I have with you planned through the end of the year. Sometimes when we have these chats and I sit down to film a monthly reset, I feel down about the fact that I wasn't able to achieve all of my goals, or feel like the next month I shouldn't plan as much because I didn't succeed in the way that I wanted to. For some reason, this is not one of those months. I am feeling so geared up to just get a lot done and feeling like September is going to be a great month because August was trending that direction as well. I was really great about my exercise schedule. I did have a few more down days, but I still got in maybe an afternoon walk with the family and with Owen. It has been very, very hot here, so some days that was a little bit more difficult. I'm talking over 100 degrees for numerous days in a row, but I think the heat finally broke yesterday. And so even today we went for a family walk, and probably will get back in that regular cadence of going for family walks together. So those things to me still count as exercise when we go for a little bit of a longer walk, and have stayed on top of that exercise schedule. And I'm feeling really proud of myself for continuing to get that movement in. Another goal that I had for the month, which was unique, I haven't done it in a while, was to try and work through my fridge, my freezer, and my pantry. So I'll talk about that a little bit more when we talk about September and why that's important. I will share on the screen here how much I spent week by week on groceries. Again, I wasn't doing this to try and reduce my grocery bill necessarily. There were still things that I bought and replaced. Snacks for Owen that are maybe a little bit more expensive, that if I were trying to do a strict grocery budget, I wouldn't have purchased. The monthly total I think was still pretty good, but it wasn't, again, a challenge to do for a low grocery spend month. It was to move through the products that I have in my fridge, freezer, and pantry and try and get stuff out of there, use up those ingredients that I bought for a one-off recipe and sat there for who knows how long after that. And I'm finding a lot of extra space in my pantry now. My freezer's looking empty, which I'm excited about because I am thinking about stocking up on some freezer meals before baby shows up, so we need to have space to do that. Let's see, the refrigerator, I've been great about having less food waste, which is really nice. So that is something that I think I will probably continue into the next month, which we can talk about right now. We can talk about the month of September because I think that's pretty much it for August and everything that went on. September is exciting. It's kind of the last month of my second trimester of pregnancy, and then things start to get very real after that. I have been talking to Jim about how important it is for me to try and have some time, just the two of us together, before we welcome another child. And if you haven't followed me for a while, or you just don't know or don't remember, we got married in 2020 and couldn't really travel for a honeymoon. I really would have loved to go somewhere out of the US, somewhere just like a little bit more exotic. I wanted to go somewhere where there was a beach and just relax and be with Jim and do a trip that I wouldn't necessarily do otherwise if it wasn't for a special occasion like a honeymoon. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. Before we had Owen, I was thinking the exact same thing. I was turning 30 that year, and it could have been a 30th birthday celebration / baby moon before we have our first kid. We weren't able to accomplish that, I think also because I was moving moving at the exact same time across states. Now that I'm pregnant with baby number 2, I really made it a point that I felt like this was important for us to take a trip together, just get away. It's still not overly difficult to get away with just one kid. Jim's parents live here and absolutely love Owen. How could they not? But they love watching Owen. He's the only grandchild on this side of the family. So they're very excited to watch him, and we're extremely grateful that they are willing to watch him, and they're gonna watch him for about a week. We were planning on going to Maui. Unfortunately, we had to cancel that trip due to all of the wildfires and are really, really sad about that. And hopefully we can rebook that trip in the future, especially to support Maui. I had spent some time in Hawaii, and especially in Lahaina, the area that was really affected by the wildfires. So of course I was sad that our trip had to be canceled, but more so for all of those who live there, the families, the businesses, people's homes. It's truly terrible what happened there, and hopefully in the future we'll be able to head back. But with that being said, we were able to cancel all of our travel because they were encouraging people not to go to that area specifically. We ended up rebooking. I booked through Costco Travel, which I've never done before, and was pleasantly surprised at how simple the experience was. And they were running some specials right when I canceled the Maui trip for other locations. And we are going to go to the Cayman Islands. We're going to the Grand Cayman, which I've never been to. Jim has been there before, but we have some fun things planned there, and hopefully we'll just be able to relax, take a little bit of time off work for both of us, which will be really nice. And then the other thing that we have planned is that my parents are going to come in town for a quick weekend trip. That's going to probably be the last time they'll come here before we have a second kid. I'm selfishly really excited about that because they're so helpful. They're great at a lot of DIY and like house things. Hopefully they can help me get the nursery together a little bit more while they're here. My dad is super handy, and so is my mom. That will be great to have them out here and just to spend some time with them and have Owen spend time with them because we don't live in the same place that they do. The other fun thing that's happening in the month of September that I should mention is that I'm going to be a guest speaker at Get Organized HQ. I have spoken at Get Organized HQ before, and it is a wonderful virtual event. I will leave information in the description box below if you want to sign up for it. There is an all access pass where you can sign up and you can access all of the different speakers that are talking about all types of things of organization and productivity, all the types of things that I talk about, but there's different experts in a bunch of different areas. And the topic that I'm going to be speaking on, if you would like to see my presentation, is going to be on balancing working a 9-to-5 job and kind of fitting everything in, because a lot of times you have content creators or these people who speak on maximizing productivity, but they are influencers and content creators, and that's what they do for a living. And if you work a 9-to-5 job, you know that that's not necessarily a relatable lifestyle. Check that out in the description box and make sure you get your tickets soon because the prices continue to increase. Right now, they're very reasonably priced to get that all access pass. Enough chatting about what is going on in the month of September. Let's talk about goals. Number 1, let's keep up the fitness goal. That's been going really well. The grocery challenge that I was doing, I'm going to keep that up for the month of September. I kind of thought that it would probably be a 2-month process with us being gone for a week. That ties in, like I was kind of alluding to before, because I especially want to make sure my refrigerator is pretty cleaned out before we head out for a full week. I don't want a lot of food waste there. And being gone for a week, saying that I'm going to do it for the month of September really is only 3 more weeks because one of the weeks were gone. So I didn't work through as much as I wanted to and have a lot more that I can work through. So 3 weeks more should be great. I'm also planning on adding a goal that doesn't necessarily have as definitive of a restriction or guideline to it, I guess. And that was what I was also alluding to talking about my spa day, which is taking less time being in my phone. I am so guilty of the doom scroll scroll. When you scroll on like Instagram, I don't really use TikTok, but when you just scroll mindlessly, it is such a waste of time. And I feel terrible about myself and what I've done with my time, and think about all the things I could have done with my time when I look up from my phone and realize how long I've been just mindlessly scrolling. And the other thing is, having a young child, I don't want him to see me doing that on my phone. I typically do it when he's asleep. I do it like in bed sometimes. I get really bad insomnia when I'm pregnant, so I just like sit there and scroll my phone, and that's not gonna help me fall asleep. It's not gonna help me stay asleep to be doing that. And again, it is just an absolute waste of time. And when I do it in the middle of the day, then I really could be using that time for other productive activities. So I'm going to try to intentionally do a little bit less of the scrolling on my phone. I want to pick up my phone for a reason. So I want to use it when I need to use it, whether I'm talking to somebody or because this is what I do. I create content. If I'm going on there to create content, that's fine. If I'm looking something up or using a recipe from the internet, those types of things are obviously fine. But the mindlessly scrolling where it's not adding anything to my life, I'm really going to try and eliminate. I've also talked about how Jim and I are trying to work through our family checklist, get a lot of things done around the house. We're making progress, but we're not there. Each step of progress seems to require another person to come into the house to do another thing, and it's just slower than I expected. The repairs from the water damage last winter, we got our garage repaired, finally got new carpet in the bedroom upstairs where there was some water damage there, but now we have to get painters to repaint the garage after we got it patched up and the wall replaced, and we have to have somebody come put baseboards back in the extra bedroom. We have some other patches around the house that I want patched up. Oh, we also need cabinets rebuilt in the garage because they had to tear all of those down, and I want those put back up with enough time to put everything away before baby shows up. So it's just this like snowball effect, but we've been making a lot of progress. We have names and companies and some dates associated with these things. We're also going to potentially get some new blinds and shades put in a few of the bedrooms so they're a little bit more blackout and work better for our windows. I have an appointment for that coming up in September. Just all of that stuff. So I will continue to share more of the home checklist and to-do list, because I also talked about making one just in general that I want to get done before the end of the year. And I always think it's nice to have like a deadline to shoot towards and have some goals for yourself. So I know not everyone watching this is going to have a baby near the end of the year and be planning to try and get a bunch of stuff done. But it could be a great idea to think through a New Year's resolution sort of, but in the reverse. What can I accomplish before the end of the year? Instead of waiting for New Year's to set new goals, set intentions, and to really ramp up that productivity, how much can you get done? What things on your list have you not been able to achieve that you could reasonably get done before the end of the year? Bucket that list out, brain dump it out, and do it along with me and see how much we can get done before the next year. Always fun to share behind the curtain a little bit with content creation, but I have been working to film a little bit more if I can, and filming some more on the weekdays. I typically in the past have always filmed on weekends. It's become increasingly difficult with Owen only taking one nap. Sometimes his naps are really short, and that's the only time I like to really film. Sometimes I'll film after he goes to bed, but I'm usually really tired by that point. Anytime he's awake, I am present and focused with my family on the weekends. So I'm trying to use evenings during the week to film, or if it's a day that Jim picks up Owen from daycare and I finish my work for the day, try and squeeze in a little bit of filming there. If it's a short video, whatever the case might be, I'm trying to add some more filming time in there, keep my weekends more free, but also by filming more during the week, I can get more videos done, and hopefully will be able to give myself a bit of a maternity leave and not really miss any videos, but I will be relaxing, resting with baby, and not focused on scrambling around trying to film a video when I should be with my newborn baby. Again, because of that, I had a goal of filming for Sophisticated Motherhood, my other YouTube channel that's focused on motherhood, and I have been posting every single week, and that was my goal, and I'm going to continue that. I have a million ideas that I've put here on my planner that I have ready to go for the motherhood channel as well as for Sophisticated Organization. Keeping up the goal of posting for my motherhood channel once a week, twice a week on Sophisticated Organization, and stocking up some of those videos so I can have a maternity leave from YouTube and be able to enjoy that time. That should be it for my goals for the month of September. I have my empties here for what products I was able to use up in the bathroom as well as home products I was able to use up. And actually, I think I'm going to start with home products because there's only one. I have had comments back and forth about sharing some of these empties. A lot of people love it and some people it's not for them. If you're done and you don't want to see this, that's totally fine. But if you are interested, I just find a lot of satisfaction in using up the products that I've spent my money on. I think it's great to reflect on whether things are items you'd want to repurchase in the future, or if it was a dud and you don't want to buy it again. Also kind of fun to share that stuff with you. Mostly it's because of the satisfaction of having all of this trash that I can throw away, trying to intentionally not bring in more and just get rid of stuff. The one product I was able to get rid of was this Jaws Refill Kitchen Cleaner. I'm trying to work through all my Jaws cleaners because I have so many of them, but the nice thing about these is that they are so small and compact, and if you want to have a backstock of cleaning products, Jaws is a great company that has these small refills that you can stick directly in your spray bottle and fill up with water. Or I would do a cleaning concentrate, whether it's a large bulk cleaning concentrate, or there are some brands that sell smaller ones that are perfectly meant for your spray bottle that you can just dump in and add water, and you dump the whole little vial in there. So it's a good way to have a backstock without taking up a bunch of space. Hopefully next month I have a lot more home products because one item is just not a lot. For my beauty products, I have to give full disclosure. The Nordstrom anniversary sale, I've talked about it a little bit, but for some reason it's always been something I've loved growing up till now. And they have great beauty deals during the Nordstrom sale. It has now come and gone, but I did purchase some items, and I'm very proud of myself that the items that I purchased were extremely intentional, and I tried to get a good deal on things I would purchase otherwise, whereas in the past I've probably bought some things just because they look like trendy makeup items and I don't need more makeup items. There's very few makeup items I need. I did buy some extra mascara because I only had one tube of mascara left and my mascara that I like was on sale. And I also bought some shampoos and conditioners because I know I'm going to use through those things, but avoided any sort of eyeshadow palettes or anything like that that I do not need. So I don't want you to think that I'm adding a bunch to my makeup collection that I'm not going to use, because that's the old me, who I still just love makeup. I used to love doing that, but I have realized through doing this process, which I would encourage you to do, if you pull aside some of your makeup and just focus on using up a specific blush palette, for example. I can't even tell you, like, it just takes so long to use up one makeup product. You do not need backstock of those types of things. I was able to use up a fair amount. This is the whole Ziploc, not totally filled. We had one big bottle of shampoo here. This is from Costco. It is the Monday brand, and I finished up the shampoo. I'm still working through the conditioner. Also did the same with a mini bottle here. Actually, the reverse. So I was able to use up the conditioner of this, haven't finished the shampoo. And I think I finished the conditioner last month of this. I always am using up the conditioner first and then left with the shampoo. So the conditioner was gone first of this, just finish up the shampoo, finish up this conditioner, and the shampoo's almost gone. So I'll finish that next month. It's kind of nice every now and then to buy like an extra bottle of conditioner to balance things out, because I like to use the same brand of shampoo and conditioner, like the scents together. And a good way to do that sometimes is having a hair mask, which, speaking of, I did use a hair mask that I will replace instead of using some conditioner sometimes. This one is different though. You also use conditioner with it. This is the Briogeo Scalp Revival. It has charcoal and tea tree. It is cooling on your head. It feels really good. So it's a good detoxing hair mask. Stick it on the hair trend. I used up this hair oil. I do a little bit of hair oil, like probably halfway through my hair and down, pretty much every time I shower, and we'll sometimes do it in between as well, just like adding a little bit of moisture to my hair, get rid of a little bit of frizz. But this bottle, because you need like a pump or two, took years to finish. and I have so many hair oils still in my bathroom that I'm working through. It is just seems like a never-ending stock. Couple of foundation-y face items. I used up the Infallible Pro Matte L'Oreal 24-hour foundation. This is a matte finish foundation, as well as the L'Oreal True Match concealer stick. Really actually liked both of these. Finished them off, and I did get replacements for these. One in, one out situation. I am down to one foundation and one concealer stick at a time. I have no backups of these, which is wonderful. That's the goal for every category, to have maybe like one backup, but that is it. Again, we don't need 7 things of blush or 5 eyeshadow palettes. I also used up one of my Cotton Round containers. These, I have a lot of backups just because I bought a bulk pack at Costco. I like buying them at Costco. The Kate Somerville Total Repair Lotion. I brought this on my trip. This stuff smells so good. It felt so good on my face. I'm honestly thinking about not purchasing because I still have more moisturizer, but adding it to a list of things that I would like to purchase in the future. Maybe I can keep an eye out for a sale in the next year or so. This I would highly recommend. I used to use Kate Somerville, probably college, and this is one I think I would really enjoy in a full size because it felt so great. So if you're a Kate Somerville fan or looking for a new moisturizer, maybe check this one out. That is all I have for you today. I hope that you've taken some time to reflect on the past month, and if you haven't, maybe take this time to do that or set some new goals for the month of September, and then we can check in another month. So until next time, I will see you all later.